Eating a lot added sugar in your diet is gonna be very bad for your health. In today's video, I'm gonna explain everything that you need to know about the sugar. What are the sugar? What causes the main problem of modern world, especially if you eat in sugar each day. Sugar is in the root cause of many diseases. You will learn today's video. Also, if you didn't already, below the video, subscribe to my channel, click the notification button that you don't miss any of my video each day. What is the sugar? Sugar is carbohydrate, which is an essential macronutrient. Every cell in your body uses glucose, a type of sugar, for energy. Glucose is what your body produces when it breaks down proteins, fats, and other carbohydrates. Your body uses the glucose it produces for food to fuel your brain and the organs. Your body breaks sugar down using digestive enzymes, amylase, in your mouth. Sugar then travels through your digestive tract, where it's absorbed in your bloodstream as a glucose. This raises your blood sugar level, causing the pancreas to release insulin. Insulin is the hormone that tells your cells to absorb the glucose. And that is, in the short, what is going to happen when we eat sugar. Problem for the modern man that we eat unbelievably amount of sugar each day that causes many of problems of the modern men, women all around the world. Your body needs glucose, a form of sugar, to survive. You don't need to eat glucose or other sugars because your body creates them from food. There are two types of sugar, natural and added. Natural sugars, as the name suggests, occur naturally in the food. The sugar in fruit is called fructose and the sugar in the milk is called lactose. Added sugar are combined with other ingredients in prepared foods and come from brown sugar, cane sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and more. Sugar added sweetness to a wide variety of foods and drinks. Most men consume about 19 teaspoons of added sugar per day, and women drink about 15 tablespoons each day. On to find out how about sugar is for the body and what happens when you eat. In the short, this means we have the most problem that we are facing today is going to be eating a lot of added sugar. Problem is, this added sugar is probably in the most food you eat day. If you eat natural sugar from the food, like probably fruits or vegetables, in most cases is going to be absolutely fine. Sugar is not always bad for you, but too much added sugar can be harmful. Sugar tends to be absorbed in your bloodstream quickly, causing spikes in your insulin levels, which can be problematic over time. Your body stores the extra glucose in your liver and the muscle tissues until you need it. Sugar is also converted to the fatty tissues. Added sugar versus natural sugar. Whether sugar is bad for you depends on where you get it from. Fruits, dairy products, and vegetables are the sources of natural sugar. Those foods also have antioxidants, fibers, minerals, and vitamins essential for overall health. Added sugar, in contrast, is considered empty calories. Food high in added sugar do not have same nutritional value as those with natural sugar. Problems with those added sugar, of course, they have zero nutrients, and what is also unbelievably important, they also have something called anti-nutrients. That means if you eat, I don't know, like something like green salad, that is probably unbelievably healthy for you. After you finish eating some healthy meals, and you finish the meals with something sweet, A lot of those added sugar you put in your body is going to destroy minerals and the vitamins that you are eating maybe a little bit before. So that's why the sugar, especially added sugar, is unbelievably bad for you. What is the main problem that we know right now, and what causes medical issues for you if you are eating added sugar much more than you need it each day? First is going to be heart problem. Most people blame dietary fats for the heart disease, and while certain industrial inflammatory fats like trans fats cause heart attacks, sugar is the real culprit. In 2014, researchers were able to scientifically show that the intake of too much added sugar can significantly increase the risk of death from cardiovascular disease. In fact, people who got 70 to 21% of their calories from added sugar face a 38% higher risk of death from cardiovascular disease compared to those who only got 8% of their calories from sugar. The relative risk was more than double for those who consumed 21% or more of their calories from added sugar. Today, most adults consume about 70 to 22 tablespoons of added sugar each day. That means probably, or it is, number one causes of death and causes of many other health issues in today's modern world is going to be heart problem. Heart attack, high blood pressure, many other cardiovascular disease, and many are rooted in eating sugar. That's why probably many of you didn't know this, and sugar has so much impact on your heart and the blood vessels health. That is one of the main causes why the many people right now dying from the heart attack or any other heart problems. That is one of the reasons why I want to recommend you will try lower down your sugar intake each day. So number one problem for the heart issues or the blood vessels is going to be added sugar. Number two problem is going to be fatty livers. Here's another reason to reduce sugar intake. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is on the rise in the world. And guess what? Largely to blame sugar. High fructose corn syrup hiding out in the drinks and processed food has called a weapon of mass destruction. Non-alcoholic fatty liver occurs when the fat builds up in the liver. This growing percentage parallels the frequency of obesity, insulin-resistant metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes. And many people around the world with the disease don't experience any symptoms. Tufts University researchers discovered people who drink one sugar-sweetened beverage a day face a higher risk of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, compared to those who steer clear of beverages containing added sugar. Interestingly, the microbiome is played too. You see, the microbiome serves as interference between diet and the liver and modify dietary effects. Also, one of the most common problems of modern world is also liver problem, my dear viewers. Liver cancer, cirrhosis, fatty liver, in many cases is in the root cause eating a lot of sugar each day. Probably you didn't know this. Third problem is gonna be leaky gut and other metabolic disease. Is sugar bad, particularly when it comes to the gut? You bet, knowing that microorganisms that live in the gut actually act similarly to metabolic organ. Researchers now believe sugar changes the gut microbiota in a way that increases intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut symptoms. Eliminating excess added sugar is a key part of any effective leaky gut treatments plan. Added sugar feeds yeast and bad bacteria that can damage the intestinal walls, creating a leaky gut. This means the chronic low-grade inflammation the sugar triggers can lead to the transfer of substances from gut to the bloodstream. This can trigger obesity, other chronic metabolic disease. If you eat a lot of sugar each day, 100% you destroying your gut microbiome. Also, you will destroy your immunity, because about 70% of our immunity is going to be in our intestines. What is even worse, with eating a lot of sugar, you feeding a lot of these unhealthy bacteria, viruses, and other bad microorganisms in our body. That's why you also must stop eating sugar each day, especially for your gut health. Fourth problem is going to be diabetes. According to research, regular consumption sugar-sweetened beverages can increase your risk of diabetes type 2. Data from 175 countries found that sugar intake was significantly correlated with your diabetes risk. While high sugar intake increases the risk, low sugar intake reduces. Many researchers believe that sugar increases diabetes risk both directly and indirectly. It may directly increase diabetes risk because of the impact fructose on your liver. Eating large amount of the sugar can also indirectly raise diabetes risk by contributing weight gain and higher body fat, both of which are separated risk factors for developing diabetes. Natural sugars don't have the same effect. While eating large amount of added sugar has been linked to diabetes, the same is not true for natural sugars. Natural sugars are found in the fruits and the vegetables and have been added during manufacturing or processing. Because they combine with the fiber, water, or other nutrients, they are digested more slowly and are less likely to spike your blood sugar. Fruits and vegetables also tend to contain far less sugar by weight than many processed food, so it's easier to keep your consumption on check. And that is not surprise. Right now we have pandemic of diabetes. I'll talk about a little bit later in the show, and it is not a surprise if you eat a lot of sugar, your diabetes risk is going to be a lot higher, and that's why many people all around the world suffering from diabetes. Another problem is going to be cancers. Does sugar impact cancer risk? When the National Institutes of the Health set out an investigation sugar link into 24 different cancers, researchers were able to find some association between different types of sugar and certain cancers. For instance, added sugar increased the risk of esophageal cancers, while added fructose, think high fructose corn syrup dangers, appear to increase the risk of cancer in the small intestine. Other research hints at connection between high intake of added sugar and the colon cancer. The higher risk remain even after adjusting for other colon cancer risk factors linked being overweight, obese, or having diabetes. Dietary sugars can also increase the risk of breast cancer, tumors, and metastasizing to lungs. In the short, this is unbelievably important. Cancer is number one causes of the death in the modern world. Right now, cancers are in the high rise more than ever in the history. If you eat a lot of sugar each day, or any sugar each day, you will feed those cancer cells. Those cancer cells grow if you eat sugar, because they feed from the sugar. If you cut out sugar from your diet, you also cut out the food that cancer cells need. That is very beneficial for you. So please stop eating sugar in the prevention of specifically if you have any kind of cancer. Another problem is sugar can increase sugar cravings. Eating large amount of sugar speed up brain reward and appetite center. This can interfere with feelings of fullness and satisfaction over time. You become less content with the same amount of the sugar. This, in turn, could lead to an almost addictive pattern of sugar cravings and overeating, leading to becoming overweight and developing obesity. 7 causes tooth decay. The mouth has balance of helpful and harmful bacteria. Sugar can stick to the harmful bacteria in the mouth and form plaque. This bacteria creates acid that wear down the protective enamel that covers teeth. Resulting of teeth decay. A cavity or a hole in the tooth can develop as tooth decay worsens. Many of you don't recognize this. The sugar creates a lot of addiction in your body. That's why you eat sugar each day and more each day, because it's activated our addiction center. Also, it is not a surprise if you eat a lot of sugar, your oral hygiene, oral health is going to be in danger. Also, impacts brain function. Too much added sugar changes how your brain functions. Added sugar has been linked to cognitive decline and degenerative disorders, such as Alzheimer's disease and dementia. A study published in 2019 of more than 1,200 Malaysian adults older than 60 found excessive sugar consumption once linked to poorer cognitive function. Researchers have shown that eating diets in saturated fat and sugar leads to a range of memory and cognitive impairments regardless of age. This may be due to the inflammatory effects of the fats and the sugar on the central nervous system and hippocampus. This brain region controls certain types of memory on our response to hunger cues. You must be 100% sure if you eat a lot of sugar each day, your brain will not work properly. Especially if you eat a lot of sugar each day for the decades, you put yourself in the high risk to develop dementia, Alzheimer, Parkinson's, or similar kind of condition. When you eat sugar, your memory is going to be in the very bad position. Also, your concentration, your focus is going to be in the lower grade, and that is also one of the reasons why you must avoid sugar. Also, causes the weight gain. Added sugar can provide your body with the energy in the form of the calories, but it offers little nutritional value. Sugary products, especially beverages, don't leave you feeling full. Blood sugar spikes and crashes from them can make you hungry later. Increased hunger can lead you to eat more than you need, causing the pattern of overeating that can lead to weight gain. Skin problems. Consuming a lot of added sugar can hinder collagen repair. Collagen is a protein that keeps your skin looking plump. A lack of collagen leads to thinner skin and skin aging. A steady diet of sugary treats can also result in reduced elasticity, poor wound healing, and premature wrinkles because of the way the body breaks down the sugar. One of the most problem in the modern era is going to be obesity. That is also in unbelievably rise. Also, many people look a lot of older with a lot of wrinkles and dry skin because they eat a lot of sugar each day. That's why also you must avoid sugar at any cost. Also, raises stress level. Research has shown that sweets can lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol in the short term. Added sugar may cause problems in the long term. The effect is temporary and the stress feeling can return only a little worse than before, leading to more sugar consumption. Research has found a link between the sugar consumption and self-medications for states like stress, anxiety, and depression. This can lead to self-medication with more sweets in some people. Excessive intake of sugar each day destroys your joints, causes the worsening of symptoms relating to arthritis of the knee, hips, and the hands, and any other joints. Excessive consumption of sugar destroys the health of the kidneys, destroys your immunity, and definitely worsens the health of your eyesight. By eating sugar, you become addicted to sugar. You will feel tired, sleepy, without energy, and what is worse, and be careful, you will significantly worsen your health. You know what is unbelievably important? After 25 years working with the patients all around the world, and in many research that I found in the last couple of decades, we very well known. The number one causes of the death and diseases in the modern world is going to be cardiovascular disease. Second is going to be brain problem like dementia, Alzheimer. Third is going to be cancers of any kind. diabetes, high blood pressure, problem with the liver, problem with obesity. That is all the main causes why we are dying each day more and more, and why we sicker each day than ever before in the history. Many causes, of course, can activate these kind of problems, but one of the main causes is eating too much sugar each day. So sugar ingredients to avoid. Added sugar can fall under all sorts of different names on ingredient labels. One rule of the thumb to find those hidden sugars is that any ingredient ending in "osa" is type of the sugar. Don't be fooled by more natural sounding names either. Sweeteners like cane juice, beet sugar, fruit juice, rice syrup, and molasses are still types of sugar. Check out the placements in the ingredient list too. The higher up an ingredients of the list is, the more of it included in the product. Other names for the added sugar include anxos dextrose, brown sugar, confectioner's powdered sugar, corn syrup solids, dextrose, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, inverted sugars, lactose, malt syrup, maltose, molasses, nectars, for example, peach or birch nectar, pancake syrup, raw sugar, sucrose, sugar, white granulated sugar. When did you last time check the ingredients list of the product that you buy in the store? Probably very rarely. Many of the products, probably 70-80% products that you eat each day is going to contain sugar. That's why you're eating something that is probably, you think like something salty, but ingredients you have a lot of sugar, and that is also important thing that's why you need to educate yourself, especially about healthy way of living and what you eat is there. Try this list I give you today, try to memorize it, and next time you find some product, read the label and find out if they had sugar, especially in the high percentage. Try to not eat them and must avoid them. Why do we eat so much sugar? First of all, the culprits are the big food industry, which puts sugar in practically all foods. Why do they add sugar? It's very simple. First of all, it's very cheap. Secondly, it causes severe addiction and preserves food for a long period of time. This means by eating a lot of sugar, you will be hungry much more often, and your body will ask to eat several times a day. And the profit only increases if you eat 4 to 5 times a day. Then you eat 1-2 times a day, which, by the way, is very good for your body. It's very simple. The food industry bombards you with a massive advertisement every day, and influences your brain through and the media possibility. In return, we today love to eat food that destroys our health, and it is in incredibly quantities. Of course, the main causes why we eat each day is going to be our dietary protocols that attack us with the food industry. No one earns money if you eat less. We eat a lot much more. That's why we are so obese. That's why we drink a lot of medication, especially because we eat a lot of these unhealthy foods that are loaded with the sugar. We don't think about it like this because we trying to find blind eye. We only do what they want us to do, and for some people who think differently, then educate yourself, you will be in better position. Please just look around yourself and you look how we eat each day. Shops are full of the food with enormous amount of the sugar. Every shop is full every day from morning to the night. You line up front for the fast food restaurant. You will know what else, my dear viewers. In about 10 years, every second adult will have diabetes type 2. And what's worse, the latest study in the USA says 33% of the children have pre-diabetes, which will turn in diabetes in a few years. Today we know that diabetes shortens 15 years of yours, causes difficult life for as long as you live. And one of the big causes is the sugar. But who cares when the food industry makes $100 billion or euros each day? This is research. 33% of the young adults and the children in the United States are in pre-diabetic states. As I said before in the video, diabetes is one of the worst diseases of modern world. One of the worst diseases. We right now know for sure, if you have diabetes type 2, you probably have 15 years less than you if you don't have diabetes type 2. And what is even more concerned, those 33% of the children in a couple of years is going to have diabetes. And other people with 40-50 years, you also will have diabetes every second of you. You will drink a lot of medication, you will not take a precaution of your health regimes, eating healthy, exercise regularly, and you eat a lot of garbage each day. Those lot of garbage that is in food, especially food that is high in the sugar, everything causes this. This is happening for 30-40 years, and we are just looking for the commercials each day. You know, everyone is happy in the commercials. We just drink a lot of unhealthy soda, everyone eats junk food, and we watch this. And the food industry knows that they have in their food industries have tens of thousands scientists, people who know how to activate our addiction, and they put all these chemicals in our food. Not just the sugar, hundreds of more chemicals are in our food. We eat all of this, and it is not a surprise that we are so unhealthy, that is so many diseases of modern world. And what is also unbelievably important, for the many decades, first time we are have a low expectancy down. Lot of diseases, lot of medications, we are getting sicker each day, we are dying even younger, and one of course of the main causes is the unhealthy food that we eat each day. Please think a little bit more carefully about why the average person's sugar consumption has increased by several hundred times in just 30 years. We are now in the 90s of the last century. Person ate about 78 kilograms of the sugar per day. Today, we eat about 90 to 100 kilograms of added sugar in the food, drinks, and like per person each day. Unfortunately, this is the fact. As always, profit, and the profit in any way is number one motivation, and no one cares if they didn't make money. And much money is possible. It is up to us, my dear viewers, to educate ourselves and send to improve our health and the health of our loved ones with our knowledge of healthy lifestyle and natural remedies. And this is the way to ensure a long life without the problems. That's why after 5 years on my channel, you have over 4,200 videos about healthy way of living and natural remedies. Please, my dear viewers, you must try think in a different way. If you are sick, if you're eating unhealthy, one of the easiest way to get better in very natural way is to eat properly, and especially practicing something called intermittent fasting. Right now, intermittent fasting is number one healthy diet in all the world. About intermittent fasting, I was written my first book that was come out last year. Because I've been practicing intermittent fasting for almost 20 years, I educate my patients about intermittent fasting, and many of my patients are in unbelievably healthy state just because of practicing intermittent fasting. If you practice in intermittent fasting, if you don't have my book, you can also buy it on the MarioLab.hr. We send the book, of course, to all around the world. You can also find on my channel probably a couple dozen video about intermittent fasting, and you educate yourself. And I believe one of the easiest way to get better and you remove the sugar from your everyday diet is going to be practicing intermittent fasting. If you like this video, of course, share it with your friends. If we share this video and many of health videos all around the world, it's going to be we are going to be in much better situation. That of course depends on you. My dear viewers, thank you for following me. See you next time. God bless you. Of course, God bless your family. Bye bye.